It doesn't arrive like a warning. There's no sudden noise, no sharp interruption. It slips in quietly, like a thought you've had 100 times before. You should be doing more. You're not where you're supposed to be. This isn't enough. And it feels convincing. Not because it's true, but because it sounds familiar. It uses your tone, your rhythm, your inner language. So you don't question it, you follow it, without even realizing you've handed over control. But pause for a second. If that voice is really yours, why does it feel so heavy to listen to? Why does it leave you tense instead of clear? Why does it make everything feel urgent, even when nothing actually is? There's something strange about it. It doesn't guide you, it corners you. It doesn't offer direction, it creates pressure. And the more you listen, the less space you feel inside your own mind. You start to notice it in small moments, when you finally sit down after a long day trying to breathe for a second, and something inside you won't let you. It starts whispering, you're falling behind. You could be using this time better. Other people are doing more than you right now. And just like that, rest begins to feel uncomfortable. Not because rest is wrong, but because you've been conditioned to feel guilty in its presence. That voice didn't come from nowhere. It was built slowly, through expectations you didn't choose, through standards you absorbed without noticing, through environments where being enough was never clearly defined, only constantly chased. So your mind adapted. It learned to push before anyone else could, to criticize before you could be criticized, to demand more so you'd never feel like you're falling short. And at some point, that voice stopped feeling external. It blended in. It became part of how you think. But here's what most people miss. Just because a voice is inside your head doesn't mean it belongs to you. And just because it pushes you doesn't mean it's helping you. There's a difference between guidance and pressure. Guidance feels steady. Even when it challenges you, it still feels grounded. There's clarity in it. It doesn't rush you into panic. It doesn't make you feel like you're constantly being measured. Pressure does the opposite. It speeds everything up. It makes you feel like time is slipping through your hands, like you're always one step behind something you can't even see. And the more you try to keep up, the more it tightens. That's why it's exhausting. Not because you're weak, but because you're responding to something that never pauses. There's no finish line with pressure. No moment where it says, this is enough. It just shifts the standard again and again. So even when you achieve something, there's barely any space to feel it, because the voice is already moving the goalpost. Okay, but what's next? You could have done better. This still isn't where you should be. And slowly, without noticing, you stop experiencing your own life. You just manage it. You measure it. You chase it, always slightly out of reach. But something changes the moment you stop reacting automatically. The moment you hear that voice and don't immediately agree with it, there's a small gap that opens. And in that gap, you start to see it more clearly. The tone, the urgency, the pressure. You begin to realize this isn't how you would speak to someone you care about. So why does it get to speak to you this way? That question shifts everything, because now, instead of obeying it, you observe it. And observation creates distance, and distance gives you choice. You don't have to fight the voice. Fighting it still gives it control. You just stop treating it like truth. You let it speak without letting it decide. And as that happens, another voice begins to surface, quieter, less aggressive, easy to miss if you're not paying attention. It doesn't rush you. It doesn't compare you to anyone. It doesn't make your worth feel conditional. It simply reminds you. You're allowed to move at a human pace. You're allowed to pause without falling apart. You're allowed to exist without constantly proving something. That voice has always been there, but it was buried under noise that felt more urgent. And urgency is convincing. It feels important. It feels necessary, but it's not always honest. Sometimes it's just familiar pressure repeating itself. So the next time you feel that push, that tight, restless feeling telling you that you're not doing enough, don't rush to respond. Stay there for a moment. Listen carefully, not to what it's saying, but to how it feels. Because your real voice doesn't drain you. It doesn't make you feel like you're running out of time in your own life.
It doesn't turn every moment into a test you have to pass. And once you recognize that difference, something inside you starts to soften. You don't feel as controlled. You don't feel as rushed. You begin to move, not out of pressure, but out of clarity. And that changes everything. Because when pressure is no longer leading you, you finally get to hear yourself again. And when you do, you realize something simple but freeing. The loudest voice in your head was never the most honest one.